It is day 2 of the mega G20 summit in New Delhi. At around 10:30 a.m., the leaders will gather at the Bharat Mandapam again for the final session of the summit. Post the roundtable talks, the G20 bloc will officially adopt the New Delhi resolution, which is being seen as a major diplomatic accomplishment by India. Now, the resolution spoke against forced territorial acquisitions in a reference to the Ukraine war, but stopped short of laying blame on Russia. Meanwhile, ahead of the meetings, world leaders gathered at Rajghat to pay respect to Mahatma Gandhi. Now, let me go across to my colleague Tetri, who joins us live. Tetri, please give our viewers a detailed insight as to what all is expected to happen today. Over to you.
Well, yes, yesterday it was day 1 for the 18th G20 summit that India is hosting, and today is the day 2 for the G20 summit. Remember that the day started by leaders the G20 delegates head of the states visiting to Rajghat, pictures coming in. We are seeing that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is there, right there at the Rajghat, welcoming all the leaders, and then the floral tribute will be paid to Mahatma Gandhi. We are seeing the pictures coming in from head of the states, from the from the ministers who are coming over there, from the prime ministers of the country, president of the country who are coming over there. Prime Minister is welcoming them, and post that they will be paying a floral tribute. Also, some cultural functions are also lined up. What we are picking up to the latest is, and these all will be dedicated to Mahatma Gandhi. And post that, the leaders will be reaching to Bharat Mandapam. The time is set to be around 10:30 when all the leaders, head of the states, delegates, guests will be reaching to Bharat Mandapam. Now, since today is the day 2 of G20 summit, the agenda for the today's G20 summit is the theme is today. In fact, the discussions will be held on one future, one family, because remember that yesterday the theme was one earth, and today it will be one future. And in fact it will be it is in fact one of the very crucial day today, because remember that back-to-back bilateral meetings are also lined up. And in fact, if we talk about yesterday's meetings or yesterday's big takeaways as far as the first day of G20 is concerned, so yes, yesterday's big takeaways were the no doubt the bilateral meeting that were held between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the head of the states. But then yes, the big takeaway was the consensus that was reached for the New Delhi declaration. In fact, it took long. It took more than 100 hours, as the Sherpa of G20 mentioned, that it took more than 100 hours to reach to the consensus, because the major talking point was that how the issue of Ukraine and Russia will be discussed. Remember that the countries from West were building up a pressure that the declaration should have strong words against Russia. But in fact, remember that now Russia is also part of G20. So it was very much difficult to reach to the consensus, in fact, convince the leaders and put up the language in the declaration, the 37-page declaration that Mirana had accessed. In fact, in that declaration, all the details are mentioned about the agenda, the discussions that was held and what that was held.
Yes.
And we can say that the prime discussions that will be held for the G20 and the outcomes, in fact, for the G20, because remember that economy is of course the main focus, but on the sidelines, sustainable development, environment, education, institutional organization, and how the countries will develop progress and how they will be helping each other at the time of a crisis was also mentioned. Back to you.
Right. Right, Petri. Well, many thanks for joining us live and giving us all those important details related to the day 2 of the G20 summit.